Everyone in this world has religious beliefs. No matter which religion we believe in, one thing is constant. Whenever we feel low, we pray to God and ask for strength to overcome the situation that is bothering us. So what is God? In simple terms, we can say that God is our belief. It is the power that we believe created the universe, and the power to which we pray for prosperity and happiness. Though there are several definitions of God, it depends on what you believe. As for every person, the exact definition of God is different. For some people, God is our inner strength, and for some, God is the power that was never born and never can die, a power that always exists and will exist after the death of the universe. There are thousands of beliefs that also created different religions, such as Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, etc. Even if we have a look at the past, we will be able to see that our ancestors, as well as people before Christianity, also had God. There are hundreds of theories that encourage us to have faith in God. Sometimes, science has denied the existence of God, which created a silent war between people having religious beliefs and people who denied it. This war continued until science itself proved the existence of God. Yes, there are several scientific pieces of evidence that prove God's existence, and some of them prove that the mythological characters were real, and so were the stories. We will discuss scientific evidence of God's existence. Humanity and religious beliefs. Nowadays, we have different religious beliefs and religions that worship different gods. Some of us pray to Jesus Christ. Some pray in front of Allah, and some pray in front of Krishna or Buddha. But have you ever imagined that when people started to believe in God? If we look at the initial stage of human existence, when our ancestors just learned how to light the fire or communicate, we will see that the beliefs were still there. In the first stage of humanity, people fear or pray to only one power, nature. Whenever they wanted the drops of rain or faced any kind of natural incidents, such as an earthquake or flood, they used to pray to Mother Nature to help them deal with the situation. After that, people started believing in the powers of different elements. They started praying to the god of fire, the god of rain, and the god of death. For example, we can talk about the religious beliefs of the Indus Valley civilization. The civilization flourished between 3500 BC and 2000 BC. According to archaeological evidence and several old documents, we can have an idea about their religious beliefs. No one can deny that the cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were really developed. Otherwise, it was next to impossible to build these kinds of large cities with amazing architecture. The Indus people most likely worshipped Mother Goddess, and as the father of the race, they worshipped Shiva. Also, some documents indicate that they used to address Shiva as Lord Rudra. The evidence also indicates that they used to pray to Shiva and Parvati together in the form of Shivalinga. On the other hand, the religion of Egyptian civilization was polytheism. There were goddesses such as Neith, Sekhmet, Hathor, and others. It is also known that they used to worship the sun in different forms. They were Khepri, the morning form, Ra Harakati, a form of Ra associated with Horus, and Atum, the old evening form. As we all know that Christianity is the base religion in European countries nowadays, but have you ever thought about what was the religion of European countries before the birth of Jesus Christ? According to the reports and archaeological evidence, the religion of people of European countries during the Bronze and Iron Ages was predominantly polytheistic. Ancient Greek religion, ancient Roman religion, Basque mythology, Finnish paganism, Celtic polytheism, Germanic paganism, etc. Also, Hinduism was the main religion at that time in Asian countries. Confucianism is another religious belief that was quite famous in Asian countries at the same time. There were also hundreds of gods in front of whom ancient people used to pray. So one thing is very clear from this discussion. that beliefs were always there among us. God was always there. Scientists and God. Though people think that science and God are two completely different dimensions, this is not entirely true. We agree that there are scientists who do not believe in the concept of God, but there are also world-famous scientists who believe in God, and also who believe in the existence of God. Dr. Stephen Unwin, a famous and knowledgeable scientist, used a 200-year-old formula to calculate the probability of God's existence. He proved that there is around a 70% probability of the existence of an omnipotent being. Even Albert Einstein also believed in God. Though he did not believe in something that could change the fate of his life, he believed in Spinoza's God. He also used to believe that science and religion are two sides of a single coin, and one is incomplete without another one. According to him, quote, "Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind." End quote. He also stated that he was not an atheist. According to some scientists, they cannot make any comment about the existence of God, as there are several things that science cannot define, and God's existence is one of them. They have also stated that they do not have any tool that can prove the existence of God, or can deny it completely. According to Galileo Galilei, quote, "I do not feel obligated to believe that the same God who has endowed us with senses, reason, and intellect has intended us to forego their use, and by some other means to give us knowledge which we can attain by them. He would not require us to deny sense and reason in physical matters, which are set before our eyes and minds by direct experience or necessary demonstrations." End quote. On the other hand, Charles Darwin was really confused about the existence of God, but he did not deny it at any cost. According to him, quote, "I may say that the impossibility of conceiving that this grand and wondrous universe, with our conscious selves, arose through chance, seems to me the chief argument for the existence of God. But whether this is an argument of real value, I have never been able to decide. I am aware that if we admit a first cause, the mind still craves to know whence it came and how it arose. Nor can I overlook the difficulty from the immense amount of suffering through the world. I am also induced to defer to a certain extent to the judgment of the many able men who have fully believed in God. But here again, I see how poor an argument this is. The safest conclusion seems to be that the whole subject is beyond the scope of man's intellect. But man can do his duty. Carl Sagan also believed that science is not only compatible with spirituality, it is a profound source of spirituality. When we recognize our place in an immensity of light years and in the passage of ages, when we grasp the intricacy, beauty, and subtlety of life, then that soaring feeling, that sense of elation and humility combined, is surely spiritual. So, we can say that there is actually no war between spirituality and science, as there are scientists who also believe that there are many things that cannot be defined by science, and they are huge and created by that superpower. Scientific evidence that proves the existence of God. Here we will discuss some scientific evidence indicating God's existence, or a single creator who created the cosmos. The cosmos is created with a perfect balance of every element or ingredient. There are also several miraculous similarities between the large matters at the cosmic level and the microscopic ones at the atomic level. All of these things can indicate the presence of the Almighty. Let's see what we have in there. We see similar geometrical patterns in nature that indicate that a single creator has created all of them. For example, have you ever heard of a planet that is square, or a star that is triangular? That is what we are talking about. Also, we need to mention the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence here. According to the law of physics, if you create anything using this ratio, it will be eye-pleasing. If we discuss the golden ratio, it is 1 to 1.61. On the other hand, the Fibonacci sequence is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and it continues. If you give enough attention to the numbers, you will be able to see that each number is the sum of the previous two numbers. Now, why are we talking about them? We are discussing them as there are endless examples of the golden ratio and Fibonacci sequence in nature that you can notice. If you think carefully, your favorite flowers can have the number of petals mentioned in the sequence. For example, daisy comes with 34 petals, and there are several other flowers that come with 5 petals. Now, if we talk about the golden ratio, we can see that this ratio is present in many parts of the human body. For example, the height of an adult, the height of the navel. Also, you can find the same ratio here, the length of your forearm, the length of your palm. We have this ratio in human DNA as well. Each full cycle and double helix spiral is 21 to 34, which not only maintains the golden ratio, but also both of these numbers are present in the Fibonacci sequence. So, after discussing all of them, we can say that all of them are created by a single creator, which is also the source of power, God. Also, similar designs and patterns are found in the microscopic atoms as well as the planetary system. Have you ever thought about how the pattern of atoms is the same as our planetary system? When we see a microscopic atom, we can see that many electrons and protons revolve around a single neutron in their own orbits. Not only that, but they also have their own axis as well. Now, if we compare it with our planetary system, or any other planetary system, we can see surprising similarities between them. You can also see similar images in the larger space of the galaxy, where numerous stars have their planetary systems and planets orbit around their stars on their axis. It indicates that there is a single designer responsible for all of them. Don't you think there is something more than our reach that we cannot touch, no matter how much we try? We can also say that the whole universe works as a super big machine, divided into trillions of small machines. There is a perfect balance between everything in this whole universe that also indicates a supreme or super-intelligent power that has created everything precisely. Whether you see any living or non-living thing, you will be surprised by its mechanism of it, which science could not explain how the mechanism was created. What are the molecules and chemicals created, and how do they work? How are the complexities of DNA created so perfectly if there is not any superintelligent creator responsible for all of them? You can find extremely complex and long codes inside your DNA. According to science, information cannot be generated on its own, as there has to be any intelligence behind it. Our DNA codes have information, but we don't know which intelligence is responsible for it. Or better say, we don't have a scientific intelligence that can be the reason behind this informative coding unless we believe in the presence of God. Just like the computer language is written in binary numbers, which are 0 and 1, the DNA codes are written in 4 alphabets. They are A, G, T, and C. They are basically the 4 types of chemicals that are found in DNA molecules. In modern computing technology, the instructions of DNA code look like 101011111100. It is A G C G T G T C A C A C C T G C T. This complex code is responsible for everything we do, as well as the hereditary information that is passed on to us from our ancestors. So you can only imagine which technology is responsible for these kinds of complex coding. If there is no superintelligence or superpower behind all the coding, what explains them? So, here we can say that God really exists. There are several non-physical aspects of the human mind that are beyond explanation, and the reach of science which also indicates the existence of God. There are several feelings that are more than coincidence, and some chemical reactions, such as the feeling of independence, or the feeling of freedom, or some senses of doubt. No matter which feeling we discuss here, we can say that only an amazing design can be responsible for each of them, far from the grasp of science. The way our mind thinks, makes several decisions, or feels several emotions, are something beyond our explanation, or we can even think of. That's what encourages us to believe in the existence of an amazing designer, or God. Scientific and archaeological proofs of God's existence. Let's have a look at some archaeological evidence that proves that you cannot avoid mythological places, stories, and characters, and they actually existed. First, we need to mention about the pyramids of Egypt that are still a mystery to archaeologists. We all know that Egyptians make these pyramids, but we still don't know how they made these amazing masterpieces. The bricks used in the pyramids are so large that it seems impossible for people to place them one after another. Also, they did not have the modern technology to place those bricks to create pyramids. We all know that several mysteries revolve around Egyptian civilization and Egyptian history. Ancient Egyptians had some amazing information that even modern science has not succeeded to crack. There are still several mysteries that make the history of Egypt blur. The pyramids of Egypt are one of those mysteries that are still unsolved. All of the pyramids are made by applying complex mathematical structures, and even modern mathematicians fail to solve these equations. Everything was so precisely calculated that it seems like the pyramids were not actually made by ancient human beings, but there was something else, or some superior powers that helped them to build those amazing pieces of art. Even if we have to look at the drawings and the writings that are created on the walls of pyramids, they are also written about the existence of God, and how God instructed them properly to build pyramids. Now, if we discuss Hinduism, we can say that every place mentioned in the epic Mahabharata and the religion book Gita is true, and all of them exist till now. For example, archaeologists have found the lost city of Dwarka, which is almost 100 feet under the sea of Gujarat coast. Also, all the places mentioned in the epic, including Kurukshetra, Gandhar, Panchal, Vrindavan, Mathura, etc., exist in the real world. Not only that, but the geographical measurements that were mentioned are actually the same till date. So, if all the places, as well as the characters, were true, we can also imagine that it is also true that Mahabharata was written by Hindu god Ganesha and narrated by the writer of the epic, Vendavas. All of these archaeological pieces of evidence prove the existence of God in Hinduism. Hundreds of other archaeological pieces of evidence indicate God's presence, such as Katif Hinnom scrolls, and other artifacts, such as new mosaics, altars, churches, and villages that are mentioned in the Holy Bible. Archaeologists have also found some ancient secrets and mysteries. Most of them indicate that there is a superpower, or super-intelligent being, responsible for our existence and the complexities of the earth, as well as the cosmos. Whether God exists or not has been a matter of debate for ages. It is not necessary that everyone believes in the existence of God, but we should always believe in a power that keeps us going, or that gives us the strength to fight with the odd situations of our lives. According to some saints, God lies within us, and if we believe in ourselves and stick to the religion of humanity, God will be satisfied. No matter what your religion believes, or which God you worship, we should always believe that there is no power that is greater than the power of humanity, and the power lies within us. If we want something wholeheartedly, we will manage to make it true, and that's why it's important to believe in yourself. We believe that a creator has created the whole cosmos for a purpose, But we also believe that power cannot be divided by religion. No matter in front of whom you pray, or in which name you address the superpower, it is one, and it is not divided. There is enough proof of the existence of God, but all it matters is whether you believe in it or not. We've just managed to mention some of the evidence that can prove the existence of God in this little space, as there are endless pieces of evidence that encourages us to believe in the existence of the Almighty. From the design of a single atom to the cosmos, all of them are so perfect that it is hard to believe that there is no designer behind all of them. Also, we should be happy that the superpower also created and gave us the religion of humanity.